Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and record making this disc for our Kumihimo braiding. So you don't have to be perfect. If you want to, you can get out a ruler, take care of it that way, but this disc is only, I believe, 3-4 inches, and so you can pretty much just eye and say, okay, so I need a line going from the top down to the bottom. And you guys can do that in pencil. I'm doing it in pen. I'm messing it up along the way. I start lightly first, and then about halfway down, we need one going left to right. So now we have it fairly evenly spaced. Now I'm going to do the same thing going in the centers here. So I just go kind of from the center out, take a look, eye it to see if I have the same distance on either side. Make those darker now so you can see them. Okay, same thing going this way. Go from the center, eye it, make my mark. Okay, so now that we have that, and if you want to make your lines all the way across, you can. It might help you here in a moment not lose where you're at. Okay, that was supposed to line up, but whatever. So now I have my marks. This would be an 8 thread disc, but we're going to make a disc so we can make different types of braids. So now I'm going to, hate it when that happens. So now I'm going to go in between these. I have to double check this. Yep. Going to go in between these because the first time I made this, it was totally wrong. So right here, once I have that all the way around, sorry, someone's calling me. Then in between, I'm going to make those marks. Okay, so again, find the halfway mark, and then between here and here, find the halfway mark. Between here and here, find the halfway mark. And just keep doing that all the way around. Halfway mark. The other halfway. And the reason this doesn't have to be absolutely perfect, you want it close, but it doesn't have to be perfect because we're looking, this is just a tool to make the braid. The actual braid will end up being fairly symmetrical and well thought out. Halfway, my mark. Okay, so now, and I put this, I labeled it here, maybe you want to put your name there, it's up to you. But one thing they do say is very helpful is if you go ahead and make a mark showing you which way you're going to be going, meaning you'll be turning it counterclockwise. So now I do have a cheat sheet that you can follow. I had to do this last night because I wanted to label it at the line, and you don't. You're actually labeling it in between. So to label it, and I like to label it so I can keep the disc in one area. I guess it doesn't really make any, doesn't matter if we're going to be turning it. So maybe I'll change that up this time. So starting here, 1, 2, we just do that all the way around. And there is a chance when we make our cuts that we'll have to write the number, but I think we can do that. Pretty simple. Really exciting watching me do all the numbers. But you do want to pay attention so you don't misnumber it. If it's in pencil, you're fine, but 26, oops, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Now there are some main points here that you're going to mark, and that is 32 is an important spot. 8 is an important spot. 16 and 24. Okay, so now that we have it all marked, the next thing we're going to do, first I got to find my scissors. I will say the scissors that I had in your art packets, oh, right here, these may not be the absolute best, but you're going to get a better cut if it's down further. The tips don't cut much. Most of the pressure for cutting is within the scissored part. Sorry. Okay, so the way that I do this, you could just make a cut like that. So there is a cut there. I like to have a little bit of a V. Now, if you have better scissors, like these, personally, I just like them to be longer, and I think it's because the more pressure you have, like at the scissored part, like I said, the more pressure you have, the better the cut is. So I'm just going to go all the way around. You want to do this carefully, not making any mistakes, and I'm going to make those little cutouts on all of these. I'm not going to make you watch that. Okay, so now finishing the last bit. Like I said, I like to make these little V's or notches. I don't know why I'm shaky today, but oh well. And the last one. Now, before we go on to the next, just double checking, making sure I did all of the cuts. I didn't. Good thing I checked. So I was pretty careful. I did not cut out any of my numbers that I had numbered. But to be fair, this is the second disc. I ruined the first one. So now, that looks pretty good. Of course, before you go on, go ahead and clean up your area. And the next thing we need is a hole in the... Now with the hole in the center, first thing, those of you at home, do not do this on a wooden table or a surface that can be scratched. This is a mouse pad here. Personally, I think a magazine, of course I'm looking around, why would I have a magazine when I need one? A book. What's this here? This is an old notebook. And I'll do it with these scissors so you can see. The heck did I put? Oh, there it is. Never mind. So you put it like that. And even though these are rounded, there's still a area right here that should work. You're not going to squeeze on the blade. I'm holding it at the cross section, and I'm going to just set that tip right here and leave that where it's at and move the disc around. Here soon you'll see that it's starting to make a mark. So keep doing that. But like I said, a magazine would be perfect because if you make a little mark as it goes through the cardboard, you don't have to worry about it. So now at this point, I like to look on the other side to see where it's starting to come through. And then I just continue to spin it. And it's not going to look pretty, just so you guys know. And that's where you just need to keep in mind it's a tool. So, me being me, I do like to kind of get those edges off. I actually remember now it goes better if you just take that little bit and pull towards the center. You can also take different markers. Let's see what I have here. I have a highlighter. You can keep going, making it bigger. Okay, so as you can see, mine is slightly off center. I'm not going to worry about it. And there we go. Now that we have it like this, we are ready to get started with the actual braiding. And that I can show each class because I don't need to worry about having extra discs for this. So once again, looking at this, go from top to bottom, left to right, divide again, then you just keep dividing. Then you're going to number it 1 all the way to 32. This is why I say you do it in pencil first, because if you mess up, you want to be able to fix it. And once you have it all numbered, you can do just a little cut, or you can do the notch like I did. You do want to mark the arrow pointing counterclockwise. You make the hole, and now we're ready to get started.